All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet another weekly football media luncheon here at the LA Davis Black and Gold Room. My name is Habtam Kaleta, Sports Information Director for the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff. And we've got two student athletes here featured with Coach Monty Coleman. We've got to my far right, Kevin Agee, defensive tackle out of Cleveland, Ohio. He's a junior. And to my immediate right, we have Paris Mack, senior wide receiver from the hometown, Pine Bluff, Arkansas. So we will get things started coming off a tough homecoming loss to Central State, led by 8 second half. Things were looking good. And just kind of an up and down game after that. We'll let Coach Coleman tell it from the coach's perspective to get things started for us today. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome everyone here once again to the media luncheon. It was a very, very, very disappointing loss. If we played that team 5 times, my belief, counting this last game, they would have won 1 out of the 5. I truly believe that. We did a lot of good things in this particular ball game. A lot of good things. Paris Mack returned kickoffs for us. He caught touchdowns for us. He returned punts for us. Mr. Agee played behind their line of scrimmage all evening long. There was a lot of good things that came out of this football game. I was called into a meeting prior to coming to the media, to the press conference, by my boss, Mr. Hardy. And he and I, we just kind of chatted about, the past weeks. And the thing that I can assure him that the guys that we've got on the field at this particular time are playing extremely hard. In my staff meeting this morning at 8 o'clock, guys had to come in this morning at 6 to lift weights. I questioned Coach Coggins, what is the attitude of the guys? Coach Coggins is our strength and conditioning coach, of course. And he said this is one of the best weight workouts that we've had all year long. Now, I said all of that to say this, that there's no quit in this football team. We've got some senior players, some junior players that's calling meetings with the team only without the coaches, that's making sure that we stay motivated. We've got 4 games to go, and only God knows what can happen in these 4 games, so there's no quit. Let me tell you a quick story. When I lived in Washington, or in the suburbs of Washington, D.C., I've always been infatuated with Doberman pinschers. The Dobermans, I love Dobermans. They're some of the prettiest dogs, animals, I think, in the world. The sleekness, the mean lookingness, the way their ears are cropped, just turns me on. I like Dobermans. If I was gonna have a dog, that's the dog I had. So I had one. I mean, one of the nicest dogs you would ever have. Smart, good, and so I come home, I had washed my clothes and I folded my clothes and I put them on the coffee table and I left out to get something to eat. And I've got plants in the house. I was single at the time, but I got plants in the house and I've got my clothes washed and laid out. And I come home, this dog, he has torn up everything. He's got my just washed clothes all over the floor. He's gone into the potted plants and he's got dirt. He's been in the trash. It's turned over. It looked like someone had broken in the house and just ramshacked the place. So, being an old country boy, what you do is you take your belt off and you whoop him. Now, this is a nice dog. So I think he's just going to allow me to whoop him. So I ran after him. I hit him a couple of times. And he ran down the stairs and there's kind of cornered. And when I got him cornered, he wasn't taking a whooping. He growled. He didn't have to growl but once. And I got the picture. He growled, and I said, well, maybe I won't whoop him. But my point is, his back was against the wall. And he was not going to allow a whooping. He was not going to allow, he wasn't going to stop. And that's where we are right now. We're kind of like that Doberman. Our backs are against the wall, but we will not stop playing. We will not stop practicing. We will give it everything we got until this thing is over. It's by far not over. We've got a lot of football left, and anything can happen. You know, right now, we've got the number 3 punter in the country. That's positive. We blocked our first punt in this past week. We've got Keyshawn Williams, who's running the ball like crazy. He's averaging 4 almost 5 yards a carry. We got Dante McDonald. He's averaging almost 8 yards a carry. Since we've made the change with Lee Earl and Brandon, Lee Earl is averaging almost 200 yards passing per game. So it's not time to circle the wagons. It's not time to say, let's stop. It's time to say, let's take the good and let's do better on what we're doing bad. Now, what we're doing bad is we're turning the football over week in and week out. That's one of the things that's hurting us. You know, I'm kind of a statistic man. I go back, you know, like the armchair quarterbacks, and I look at the stats, and the stats do tell the story. Right now, Chancellor, you know how many points we're giving up off of turnovers? 84 points off of turnovers. By far the worst in the SWAC. And that's a story. If we protect the football, then that number comes down. Our chances of winning goes up. Now, I was talking to Mr. Hardy, like I said, you know, one of the things that we do daily in practice, we practice on tackling. And right now, we're one of the worst tackling teams, and that's one of the reasons why we're not being successful, is because of our ability during the game to tackle. But it's something that we work on every single day. There's not a practice that we don't go through that we don't work on tackling. So if we protect the football and we tackle better, which we will, our chances go up tremendously. And we'll continue to have good practices. Last week, prior to the game with Central State, we had one of the best weeks of practice that we've had in a long time. These guys are sitting to my left and to my right. They pride themselves on making sure that their team is doing everything that we have to do to be successful. And I'll end it with this. We're right on the cusp. We're right on the edge, but we can't fall over with a win. I mean, we're right there. And that is the most frustrating thing for me and the coaching staff and for the team to see that we're right there. What else do we need to do? And that's what we're trying. I'm calling mentors. I'm calling old coaches. I'm calling teammates. I'm asking, what else can we do to get over that hump? And it's not even a big hump. I mean, the week before against Valley, we lost by what, 7? And this week we lose by 5. It's not even a huge hump. But I truly believe when we take care of our fumbles or turnovers and we tackle better, it can be a whole different story. Whole different story. So we're not done. We've got 4 games. We've got 4 games, and we're not done. The guys aren't done. This is a team that you can be proud of. You know, we've got some injuries, like all teams do. The bye week couldn't have come at a better time. We got our starting corner, he's out. Our starting free safety, he's out. We've got a defensive tackle, he's out. And all these guys have contributed for us. And right now we feel the effect of them being out. There's numerous of guys, wide receivers, 4 O-linemen that's out. But I can assure you that there's no quit in us. We are going to continue to work hard in practice, and we're going to put our best foot forward, and we will get over that little small hump that we just talked about. we will get over that because our backs are against the wall, and we will show them our teeth to let them know that, hey, don't mess with us. Don't mess with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you so much. Good to see you guys fight despite all the adversity. A lot of young guys on the team, a lot of injuries, as we mentioned, but you don't make excuses, so we have your back, definitely.
Thank you.
We'll start with Paris Mack, the senior, fourth-year senior here from the homegrown Pine Bluff. Paris, looking at the stats, you're second in all-purpose yardage. I know it's a frustrating time of the year with our third straight loss, but can you kind of give us a inside the locker room look as far as an offensive standpoint, and then we'll switch to Kevin Agee after to talk about the defense. Just you return kickoffs, you return punts, you're a receiver. Can you kind of tell us the mood from a senior leader as yourself in the locker room from the offensive side, please?
Well, the team is still hungry. There's no doubt. We just gotta figure out a way to pull through. Get better. And, I guess.
All right, thank you. Kevin, can you elaborate on the defensive end, how the locker room, how the mood is from you and your core?
Oh yeah, well for the defense, we got a pretty strong defense. We showed sparks of just making great plays, but we have to finish. Like we'll be third and long, and then we'll just let them out, first down, then they'll end up scoring somehow. So we just been talking about who all gonna buy in. We got a lot of young guys that gotta buy in, so that's the issue right now.
All right, and then Coach, I'll end with you before we go to the media with OC. Like they mentioned, we can put offense together, we can put defense together. When we put it together at the same time, 28 points in the second quarter, we're unstoppable. So how do we try to maintain that consistency throughout the game with such a young team?
It is a very young football team, and like you said, we don't make the excuse of being young. These guys are here for a reason. There is advantage of being a veteran football team, but these guys are playing hard. I do have to admit, the young guys are. The thing that we've got to do, we've got to start fast, and we've got to find a way to maintain. If you look at the stats, the first quarter, we're not getting very many points, but we're giving up points. I think we're giving up on an average 51 points to our opponents. I think we're averaging like 30-some points, maybe even less than that in the first quarter. The second quarter is very, very strong for us. That's when it goes up. So once we get that adrenaline, once we get that first sweat going, that seems like that's when we play our best football. We come back out after being in the locker room. Third quarter is down for us also. So those are the things that we've got to change out on the field. Like I mentioned it before in one of the press meetings, that we're trying different things, energy bars at halftime, to make sure that when we come out that we can do what we need to do. And it showed. It actually showed this past weekend. My strategy was we have a good first half, then we get the ball the third quarter, and the first few minutes I learned from Joe Gibbs. He always said the first few minutes of the third quarter is the most important part of the game. So come out the third quarter, the offense with the ball, because we deferred. They drove the football right down the field. We get down to the 2-yard line, I think it was, and then we kind of stymied ourselves. And we get pushed back so far that we're out of field goal range. So the thing that we're going to do is we've got to pick up on those quarters, the first and third quarter, starting fast and then finishing, making sure that we finish. Because fourth quarter, we've seen the last 2 weeks, we've had the ability to put points on the board, and we'll continue to do that. But it's the first and third quarter that we've got to make sure that we do better.
All right. Also, kudos on that flea flicker. Really broke things open in that second quarter. That
was pretty
fantastic play.
Yeah.
Great job. All right. Questions from the media, please. OC Brown.
Final commercial. OC Brown, how you doing, Coach?
Good. All
right. First off, Coach, you talk about starting fast each week, and for them to come out and I believe they got up 20-7 after Patterson's fumble, and they got it on the 27 and went in on the short field. Could you just talk about how disappointing it is to not start fast after preaching it week by week?
That's something that I'm going to continue, OC, to preach is we've got to start fast. I mean, before we come out of every game, it's not just me saying that, the players are saying that because I've said it so much that we've got to start fast. Now, for whatever reason, we didn't start fast. I chose to go on defense first this particular game as a strategy. And they moved the ball. We bent, but we didn't break as far as points until late in the first quarter. But I didn't anticipate that. So that's going to be kind of a tagline that we'll continue saying that we've got to start fast as a team. We want to make sure that if we're kicking off or kickoff return, if we're returning, we want to get good positive yards past the 30. If we're kicking off, we want to pin them inside of the 20. We want to start fast with the offense or defense to make sure that we can get that added advantage of scoring first.
Okay. Now, after they got up 20-7, Mr. Mack returned a 57-yard kick return to put you guys in good field position.
Yes.
And that's when you read off the 21 straight points. Could you just talk about, did you think you guys kind of underestimated them coming out, and then you guys woke up as they went up? Or
No.
what was the coach?
It wasn't underestimate. We don't underestimate any team, regardless of what division they're in. They've got good football players, and we realize that. It doesn't matter if they hadn't won a football game. There's something about UAPB. When you're playing UAPB, it seems like teams rise a little bit better. I said in my opening statements, maybe I shouldn't have said it, but I believed if we was playing them 5 times, we would beat them. I do believe that. But for some odd reason, they played their best game on this Saturday. No, sir, we didn't by no means underestimate Central State. We knew they were going to have some good football players. They're very well coached by Coach Pearl. One of his coaches is one of my ex-coaches, the defensive coordinator, Coach Harper. So we're familiar with them, and they came in and they played a good football game.
Okay, Coach. Like last week, you indicated the RPOs. Teams have been running that. How difficult has it been? I know you guys have probably been working on it in practice diligently, trying to stop it. How difficult has it been to execute in game, stopping the run-pass options?
That's one of the things that whoever invented the RPO as an offensive coordinator, he did a great job. It holds the linebackers, and that's what they're trying to do. And they hit the tight ends right behind them. So the linebackers are taught when it's run, because the offensive line is actually showing run. So they come up to play the run, and when they come up, the quarterback is reading RPO. He's reading the run, so he comes up. Now the quarterback pulls it, and now he throws the football right behind him where he should be. So if now, say for instance, he stayed back to play the pass, then of course now they hand the ball off to the running back. It's a read thing, and it's a tough situation for the linebackers and safeties for that matter, because one thing is showing you run, and if you play the run like you're supposed to, they're going to throw it. The other thing, you play the run or you stay back and play pass, now they're going to run the football. So it's kind of a two-edged sword that you're falling on, and you just got to do the very, very best you can.
Okay. Seems like at halftime, you guys made some necessary adjustments there on defense. They didn't score in the third quarter. You guys marched the ball pretty deep in the third quarter, missed 2 field goals. Could you just talk about the third quarter? I think that missing those 2 field goals kind of kept them in momentum-wise. Could you just talk about that?
And it did. Jamie, I hang my hat on Jamie. Jamie is one of the hardest working guys that we've got on the entire football team as a kicker. And he made a great tackle on his second missed field goal on their sideline. That just shows the attitude of Jamie. Jamie's an ex-rugby player. He's been here at the luncheon before. You see his attitude. You see his physical stature. He doesn't look like a kicker. He looked like a player. But as far as the 2 mixed field goals, like I said, we pride ourselves on trying to motivate or try to get everything going in the third quarter, which we did. We got in field goal range, and to miss those, let them back into the football game. Because right now, what was it, 20-28 at half. We get those or possibly even score when we're down inside of the 5. It could have been a totally different situation for us, but we let them back in. They gained momentum, and then they were able to score some in the fourth quarter.
All right, Coach, moving on now. Going to a bye week after a tough loss like that, how important is it for you guys to really, like you said, you want to buy in, get everybody on the same page, and keep going for it here?
The bye week is going to serve for us kind of a threefold. For the guys who have little boo-boos that's playing, Tyron Ralph, I take my hat off to the young man. He's got a very, very bad hurt quad. He and Mr. Mack has a hamstring. They never even thought about coming out of the game this past week. They played. Tyron would come to the sideline, and I'm asking him, do you need us to sub you? He said, no, you know what, he needs to play, which we need him to play, and he continued to play. So the first phase is we want to get those guys not practicing as much this week so they can recoup. The second phase is we got to self-evaluate ourselves to make sure that our tendencies against us, that we hadn't become, on first down we're going to run, second down we're going to pass, and so on and so on. Go back and look at the film from the games that we've played and self-evaluate ourselves. That's the second thing that we're doing. And the third thing is just a little bit. We've got 2 weeks to get ready for Southern. So we're working on Southern some in our team period. So the three things, we want to let the guys recoup. We want to self-evaluate ourselves and work towards Southern some this week also. We will work up until Friday, up until Thursday. After Friday, I'm going to give them Friday and Saturday off this week.
Okay, and then last question here, Coach. Southern plays Jackson State this week, a team you guys already beat this year. Will you guys sit down and watch that to gauge where Southern is at this point, or how are you planning on looking at that game?
Well, I'm not sure if it's going to be televised, but it is one of the games that we will break down in our 3-game breakdown for the preparation for Southern. So after the game, on Saturday, watch it, or after the game, we will break that film down. So yes, sir, we will scout that Jackson State Southern game.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Hello, Tyrese Boone, UAPB-TV, mass communication student here. Real quick, third down was a big problem for the defense, and especially in the second half when they were driving the ball down the field. Can you just explain, not explain, but just what do you suggest that you're going to do to address the third down issue?
Third downs are huge. One of the plays that sticks out in my mind, and I mentioned it to Mr. Hardy, it's third down and 15, third down and forever, and they were able to pick it up. And it wasn't that it was a great play called by them, but we had several missed tackles. And because of the missed tackles, they're able to pick up the first down. So we're working on the tackling. Now, third downs, they generally throw the football. Most teams do. And we have changed some coverages. We do have a young secondary right now that's playing for us because of injuries. So we've got to stay, I won't say vanilla, but we've got to not complicate it so that these guys can get lined up. That's one of the things that we are. And like I said earlier, we do have the chains out on the field, so we do have a third down period each day to make sure that we can get better in our efficiency and also do better on defense.
All right. Tashad Charity made a plethora of plays in the backfield.
Yes.
As well. Just like go over the defensive line. You can chime in on this too. And how they've improved over the year, even though sometimes defense, secondary isn't where it really needs to be. But the defensive line have been absolutely huge so far in this year.
The defensive line right now, if I had to grade the 3 stages, the D-line, the linebackers, and the secondary, by far the defensive line has given us the better opportunity to win. Second would be the linebackers, and third would be the secondary. And if the secondary is the one that's banged up the most. We had disciplinary problems with some of the linebackers that would have played for us but because of the severity of their offense, they're no longer with our football team. So it shows. But I can't lose the whole team over one. But the defensive line, Mr. AG, Mr. Johnny Daniels, Kevin McDonald, Charity, Tashad, those guys, Nick Strout. I mean, it's just a whole plethora of guys that are playing extremely well on the defensive line for us.
You want to chime in on that one as well?
Yeah, we have a strong defensive line. We try to just make sure we're doing all we can in the game, try to get pressure on the quarterback, try to make plays, just set up the secondary, make their plays too.
Right. So, yeah. All right, thank you. And one last thing, Keyshawn Williams, how much more do you think you have to lean on him on the offensive side of the ball? I see all the time you try to get high-value plays to him, get him out in the open field, and let him use his speed. But there's only so much one man can do. So how much more do you think you can lean on him? Period.
We're gonna lean on him till he falls. I think he had either 170, 180 all-purpose yards. We even talked about it. The special teams coach came to me and said, we need to put him back and let him return kicks also. And I told him we won't do that because he's too valuable to the offense. Now, I want you to look at this. At the left tackle position, we've got a true freshman, Mr. Jackson. At the left guard position, we've got a true freshman, Mr. Jones. At center, we've got a guy who did not play for us last year, Mr. Glover. At the right guard, we've got Mr. Smith, and we've got a junior college transfer, Mr. Adu, who's been here with us at the right tackle. Since we've made that lineup, we played Alabama A&M. I think we gave up 7 sacks against them. The lineup was a little bit different. Against Valley, who blitzes a lot, we gave up 1 sack. And against these guys last week, we've given up 2 sacks over the last 2 weeks. So there's a huge improvement, and that's why you see Keyshawn doing some of the things that he's doing along with Dante McDonald.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Any other questions from the media? Coach, before we get the audience, if you could talk about the dropped interceptions. They say we get half of those, and the whole season's a completely different season. So let's talk a little bit about those.
And I thank you. Making plays, that's what we call it. That's what we talked about after the game. If we just take advantage of the plays or the opportunities of making plays, it could have been a totally different outcome of this particular football game. 2 or 3 plays, 5 plays, second series, whatever it was. I mean, ball hit us right in the hand. There's probably 6. There's nobody in front of him. Hit him in the hands, and he dropped it. A few plays later, we get hit in the hands again for another interception, and we dropped that one. I think we had 4 drop ones. We did get one, but we landed out of bounds with it, Mr. Sean Steele. But just those plays right there could have been enough to maybe stop them from trying to throw the football, concentrate more on running the football. But getting those turnovers would have assured us to win the giveaway takeaway. And, so we've got to take advantage of every opportunity. Being interception, we stripped the football. Just one of the guys, just stripped it, and the ball's landing on the ground, and one of their guys pounced on it, opposed to us. So we had the opportunities, and the thing that we're preaching is we've got to take advantage of those opportunities to make sure that it gives us a fighting chance.
Thank you, Coach. All right, questions from the audience at this time, please. All right, up front here, please. No microphone. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Coach, what could the fans do to help the team stay in the game and to keep their spirits lifted?
That's a very good question. The question she was asking, Ms. Janny was asking, was what could the fans do to make sure that, to help keep us in the game and to motivate the kids. I would like to see every game like it is a homecoming. We're the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff. This is our university here in Pine Bluff. We've got some very, very devoted fans. Mr. Nichols, he's devoted. He's here. I see him on the roads. Coaches that's very devoted to us. It's about the kids with the fans. The kids enjoy seeing their stadium filled with their fans rooting for them. I mean, it's their desire. Trust me. We've got the women's basketball coaches here. We've got ex-coaches here. There's not a kid, I hadn't seen a kid ever to go out on the field and say, you know what, I want to lose today. I don't want to represent my university well today. Every last one of them go out there and give their hard-earned talent that God has blessed them with to give it everything they got. Now, we can't win every game. I wish we could. Trust me, I wish we could. But I would just like to see the fans rally around us. That's what I would like to see. Rally around those kids, because it's a great experience that we're giving them. If I can go back a few years, that's the one thing about playing with the Washington Redskins was so great. Came hell or high water, it was sold out. Every week. You had 60,000 screaming fans every single week. And of course, when it's Cowboy week, you had even more. But that made us as a team want to say, you know what? Hey, we're going to do it. And if you watch anybody that's in their ring of honor during their ceremony, being inducted, they're going to compliment the fans. They're going to compliment the fans. And, we didn't win every game. We beat the Cowboys every time we played them, but we didn't win every game. That's for Tim Stubbs. But I would love to see the guys, the fans come out and support us, support the guys, because they truly are giving it everything they've got. There's not one kid on our team or have been on our team that say, you know what, Coach, I'm just going to give you just a little bit, and I don't care if we win or lose. I've never heard that. They're giving it all they've got. Thank you.
All right, I have a message from Bubba, too. He said he couldn't make it today, had to go to the doctor, but...
So that means we'll get out early?
Oh, yeah. No 2-question minimum needed today. But he said he wouldn't abandon us. He just wanted to let y'all know he still got
Bubba,
us.
we love it.
We love you, Bubba.
Yes, right.
All right. We have any more questions from the audience? Mr. Nichols, anybody? Candace? All right, and that we would like to thank, as usual, UAPB Dining Services for their hospitality, and we'd like to thank each and every one of you, media members, fans, alumni, faculty, staff, for coming out this week to show the support. I know it's a tough time for our football team, but we're still rallying. We still have a fighting chance. The West is wide open. Got some tough games coming up, but hey, 1 week at a time. Anything's possible. We still control our own destiny. So just got to take care of business each week. So we do have a bye week next week. This coming up weekend. Everybody take the weekend off, and we will return next Tuesday as we prepare for the Southern game and in Little Rock. So on behalf of Chancellor, our athletic director,
Can I make one other
Lonzo Harder.
announcement?
Yes, sir. Yeah, sure.
We've got an event coming up on November 15th. It's going to be at the Clinton Library, and it's called Legends and Legacy. This is our third year. We've had some of the all-time greats, some Hall of Famers that's coming to visit to help us raise funds for our scholarship program, football scholarship program. This year is no different. We've got Mr. Mark May, who played with the Redskins and also was a TV analyst for college football, along with Lou Holtz. So Mr. May is going to be with us. We've got a graduate of UAPB, Mr. Mark Bradley, who played with the Chicago Bears. He's going to be with us. And we've got Mr. Courtney Van Buren, who also is a graduate of UAPB, who played, I want to say, with the Rams or San Diego. Played with San Diego. He's going to be with us. So this is going to be the evening of the 15th at the Clinton Library. Tickets are on sale. You can call the ticket office at the stadium to get more information on that. But it is a great event. We've got auction items that will be auctioned off, and in the last 2 years, it's been a real good event for us for fundraising. And we had Jay Novacek from the Cowboys last year. We had Wallace Francis. We had Dante Wesley. We've had Art Monk, Hall of Famer. So we've had a lot of great guys with us. So if you're not doing anything on the 15th of November, please come and join us.
All right. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Coach Coleman. We appreciate everything. Let's eat.